we have on the show, ICC accredited lawyer, attorney Gilbert Andres. Welcome back. We hope the line is clear now.
Good morning again, Gretchen.
There you go, better. Okay, so my question to you is, bakit dalawa lang yung napili nila to represent the victims? Why is attorney Cristina Conti not part of those representing the victims?
When it comes kasi to representing the victims, one should be a part of the ICC list of counsel. And then secondly, actually we're a team, Gretchen. So there's a Philippine team, and it has been agreed upon by the various victims groups in consultation also with all of the human rights NGOs and victims groups who have been helping in the Philippine war on drugs victims.
Oo. But isn't attorney Conti ICC part of the ICC list of counsel?
Okay, I think she's part of the assistant list of assistant to counsels.
Okay. Okay, that's clear now. And yung Philippine team, kayo yung napili, kayong dalawa. Ni Attorney Joel Butuyan.
And
Okay.
naman, ginagawa naman ng mga various victims groups.
How many victims are you representing now officially?
Okay, now if you look at the January 26 decision on victim participation, mayroon kasing ABC, di ba, na protocol, yung registry. Yung A, yung talagang siguradong pasok sila within the scope document containing charges. So under that, may at least 29 victim individuals. Tapos meron naman sa type C yung dapat pang desisyonan ng pretrial chamber. So hindi nakalagay yung eksaktong numero, pero meron doon mga criteria. So as of now, at least 29, but it's more than 29 kasi meron pang type C na naaprubahan ng pretrial chamber na mag-participate po.
But some victim applications were rejected. Is it a matter mainly of scope that falls under yun nga doon sa Group A, Group B, Group C, yung which refers to, I think, tama ba na yung time period of the former president as mayor, as president? What was the defining factor in the acceptance of the applications from the victims?
Okay, tama ka dyan, Gretchen. Yun naman yung nasa Group B, yun po talaga yung klarong nasa labas po sila ng scope ng document containing charges. Ibig sabihin, baka po labas sila ng time period kasi yung kinoconsider lang po ng Office of the Prosecutor ay mga crimes against humanity for murder na nangyari po between November 1, 2011 hanggang March 16, 2019. So kung labas po ng scope na to, let's say nangyari po noong year 2021 or 2022, talagang hindi po siya pasok dun sa scope ng document containing charges at hindi po sila ma-approve sa kanilang victim application.
But for the Group B, which are victims outside that scope from 2011 to 2019, tinanggap po sila on the basis of what?
Pwede naman kasi mag-apply, oo. So, pero nasa sa pretrial chamber po yun, whether or not i-aprubahan po. So, nag-apply po sila, pero yun, fortunately, nasa labas po sila ng scope kaya hindi na po pinayagan ng chamber. At yun din po yung recommendation ng registry.
So, is it correct that there are about 35 victims that you're representing?
Well, I think mag-iiba pa yung number, hindi pa siya definite, Gretchen. Kasi yun kailangan pang i-finalize. Kasi ang binigay lang talaga ng registry dun sa type C, for example, merong sample space, may sample na applications. Pero ipapasok pa yung the rest of the applications sa type C. At yung criteria, binigay po ng pretrial chamber last January 26 decision.
And what will their role be? Is this the final list of victims? Yung sinabi po ninyo, yung iilan kung saan ipapasok, may chance pang humabol yung iba to if they want to apply in other parts of the trial process?
Yes, mayroon pang chance, Gretchen. In fact, sinabi po yan ng pretrial chamber sa decision po nito last January 26 na if ever matuloy po sa trial proper at magkaroon po ng another phase, pwede naman pong mag-apply pa yung iba pa pong mga biktima ng war on drugs na gusto pong mag-apply. So, ito ay sa pretrial proceedings lang muna. In fact, yung OPCV po nag-apply na magkaroon ulit ng application period. Ngunit sabi po ng pretrial chamber, baka po lalo pang ma-delay kaya itutuloy na po sa February 23 yung confirmation of charges hearing.
And the initial set of victims, what will their role be?
So yung role po ng mga victim participants na naaprubahan po, ibig sabihin sila po yung na-recognize na victims dun sa within the scope as of now sa pretrial proceedings. So yung kanila pong mga suffered harm, yung po yung ipapakita po namin dun sa confirmation of charges hearing, yung mga damages at mga suffered harm, whether physical, psychological, emotional, intergenerational, yun pong ipapakita po namin at i-argue din po namin yung iba pong mga grounds na dapat pong ituloy po sa trial proper.
Will any one of them appear at the confirmation of charges hearing?
Okay, wala po talagang requirement na magkaroon ng in-person presence ang any of the victims kasi alam po ng chambers na talagang may heightened security risk ang mga victims kasi yung context dito ay ang charge crime, ang international crime. Kaya hindi po nila ni-require yun, kaya po nagtalaga po sila ng common legal representative for victims para po i-represent po talaga ang mga naing po at mga concerns at views po ng mga victims before the chamber.
I know this is, I'm not sure if this is within your jurisdiction, but Reyna Garma was rumored to be testifying against the former president at the ICC to serve as witness. Could you confirm that with us?
Pati po sa mga bagay na yan, it's really sa Office of the Prosecutor, as now talagang hindi po talaga clear. Oo. At alam mo, Gretchen, when it comes to confirmation of charges, talagang it's very rare na mayroong in-person live witness. Kasi talagang mga factual at legal arguments po yung sinasambit po dito. Kaya ang ma-expect po natin talaga mga references sa evidence, references po sa witness statements. Pero wag po muna nating i-expect na merong live in-person witnesses. Kasi mas ginagawa po yan sa trial proper.
Okay. So what will happen now at the confirmation of charges hearing come February 23? What should the public expect to go down?
The public should expect na magkakaroon po ng mga argumento, factual at legal po. And the issue really is whether or not yung 3 counts against Mr. Duterte ay kukumpirmahin nga at whether or not maputuloy po ba ito sa trial proper. So merong count 1, count 2, count 3. So kahit isang count lang po ang ma-confirm, matutuloy po yan sa trial proper. So yun pong magiging issue po dun sa confirmation of charges hearing. Tapos, syempre, magsasalita muna ang prosecutor, bibigay po nila ang kanilang panig ng argument nila, bakit dapat ituloy sa trial proper, at magbibigay din ng period para po sa mga victims, ano po ba yung suffered harm ng mga victims ng war on drugs. Syempre, bibigyan din ng panig yung defense. Kaya makikita po natin dito yung interplay po nung dalawang partido, yung prosecutor at yung defense, at yung mga victim participants.
Pero dito, attorney, babasahan na lang ng desisyon ng pre-trial chamber kung confirmed na yung charges or ito ay balitaktakan pa, debate?
Okay, so merong it will be for 4 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Tapos kung wala nang mga further arguments or mga further presentations, mag-end lang sa Friday. Tapos, magkakampo ng period at meron pong after that period na pinag-aaralan ng pre-trial chamber, anong magiging decision, mag-i-issue po ito ng tinatawag na decision on the confirmation of charges. So, dito po ipapalagay ng chamber kung meron ngang na-confirm mga charges, whether count 1, count 2, or count 3, or all of it, or some of it. Tapos, ano ba talaga yung 4 na kwadrado ng confirmed charges against kay Mr. Duterte kung yun po naging decision ng chamber. So, yun po I think more or less 60 days, if I'm not mistaken.
The decision will come out after 60 days, after the 4 days that you talked about.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's clear about what to expect. Now, will the surrounding issues be tackled here? When I talk about surrounding issues, ito pong issue tungkol sa kanyang kalusugan, tungkol sa kanyang interim release, at tungkol sa jurisdiction ng ICC. Do we expect that to be brought up in the confirmation of charges hearing, or will those be settled outside the confirmation of charges hearing?
Okay, doon po sa health, actually na-decide na po yan, magkaroon nga ng 3-person expert panel report. At na decision na ng pre-trial chamber na fit to participate in the pre-trial proceedings si Mr. Duterte. At mayroon ding mga measures para po sa kanya, kaya Gretchen, hindi tuloy-tuloy, yung hearing. After 1 hour ng hearing, may break po. So, chinank po ng pre-trial chamber at meron ding break in between the week. Kaya Wednesday po, wala pong confirmation of charges hearing. So, may mga measures na po na placed ng chambers po. Ikalawa po, doon naman sa issue ng jurisdiction, hindi po ito itatakol kasi it's before the appeals chamber. Number 3 po, patungkol naman po sa interim release, actually mayroong provision for a automatic review at least once a year. At sinama na rin po yung issue na yan, yung review ng detention, continued detention ni Mr. Duterte. Sinama na po yan dun sa confirmation of charges hearing. In fact, I think it will be on the Friday, February 27. Yan po ang itatakol po sa remaining hours pong yun ng Friday, Feb 27. Yung review ng continued detention ni Mr. Duterte.
Oh, now, I wanted to ask you about that because I do remember that this is subject to a periodic review every 90 days, if I remember correctly, yung kanyang continued detention and interim release request. Thus, the decision on fitness to stand trial affect that decision kasi ang sinasabi ngayon ng defense ay hindi na consider yung kanilang medical report, which I remember we were talking about it is new evidence that the ICC pre-trial chamber is required to look at in the assessment of the interim release request. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Kapag dineclare nilang fit to stand trial, yun din ba ay decision na on the new medical evidence that's provided?
Okay, syempre i-separate natin yung issue ng health tsaka yung interim release Now, doon naman sa ni-raise ng defense, it's actually with respect sa decision on the fitness to participate. Oo. So, in fact, meron pong 3-person expert panel, yan po naging basis ng decision ng pre-trial chamber. Kasi meron naman talagang power and authority yung pre-trial chamber na mag-appoint ng independent, competent, and ng sarili nilang expert panel. So wala po talagang command sa trial chamber, walang statutory provision na dapat i-consider niya yung mga sinubmit ng report, whether ng prosecutor or ng defense kasi pwede po talaga magtalaga ng sarili nitong independent expert panel sa fitness to stand trial. Now, yung issue kasi ng interim release, separate siya sa fitness to stand trial. So, doon po sa issue ng review ng continued detention, I think hindi po dapat doon ihahalo yung issue sa fitness to stand trial kasi na-decision na po yan ng chamber.
So kumbaga parang the defense was merging the two, trying to use the health argument to gain an interim release for the former president. Kaya po napagsasama na rin ho natin. Pero iba po ito.
Separate po yan actually.
Walang bearing, wala bang bearing? Sa bagay na-declare na siyang fit to stand trial. So what would be the possible grounds for the granting of an interim release at this point?
Actually, titingnan pa rin yung three factors for the for an arrest warrant, which is also the three factors for the continued detention. Flight risk ba yung yan? Continuing flight risk po ba siya? Number two, makaka-apekto po ba siya sa investigation at proceedings? At number three, makakagawa pa ba siya ng krimen na chinarge sa kanya? So, yun pa rin yung tatlong factors na yun, dun pa rin mag-revolve yung magiging consideration ng chamber sa review niya.
Okay, and after the confirmation of charges hearing, when would we expect things to go to the trial phase?
Okay, it's a big if, Oo, kasi in fact, yan yung magiging decision ng pre-trial chambers. Hindi ko pangunahan yung pre-trial chamber. But siguro ang dapat nating alamin, ano bang kailangan na ebidensya? Oo. Para po sabihin ng pre-trial chamber, ay tuloy na to sa trial proper. Hindi po kailangan ng proof beyond reasonable doubt kasi sa trial proper po yan. Pre-trial pa lang po. Ang kailangan lang po is sufficient evidence to show that there are ito, technical term po to, substantial grounds to believe that the suspect committed the crime. Kaya nga po, rare po yung in-person na mga witnesses kasi mababa lang po yung, yung quantum of evidence na tinatawag. Substantial grounds to believe lang po.
Well, crucial next days to come. We wish you good luck in your role as the official listed counsel to the victims. Thank you so much for your time on this Friday morning. We have ICC accredited lawyer, attorney Gilbert Andres.